Well, welcome back to the Valley Hoops Insider podcast, part of the Valley Hoops Insider website. Harry Schrader with you, editor of the site, host of the show. And that good-looking young man next to me there is Ben Humrichous. He, of course, played in the Missouri Valley Conference all last year, was spectacular for the Evansville Purple Aces, but he's moved on. I'm over the bitterness. He's moved on to a different program. We'll talk about all of that in just a minute. But first, Ben, thanks for joining us. You've had a whirlwind, maybe 18 months, 24 months, haven't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely. At the end of the day, I can say I'm blessed. Thank you for having me today. Thank you.
Yeah, really glad to have you in. Played at Huntington U. We're really good at the NAIA level, and then Coach Ragland drags you to Evansville. Talk about your experience with the Purple Aces before you traded that orange for the orange of the Illini.
Yeah, my experience through Evansville was incredible. I have nothing but gratitude for the people over there. That coaching staff is a great group of people, a great group of men that just love on their players. I played alongside some really talented players, and we did a lot of really great things. And looking on the other side, I'm a better basketball player. I'm a better man, and it's great. I have a bunch of gratitude for the University of Evansville.
You make the all-newcomer team for the Missouri Valley Conference, average almost 15 points, 5 boards, 414 from deep. Had you made enough or taken enough, you would have been 18th or 19th in the country at that level. Obviously, Coach Underwood saw something that could help his Fighting Illini out when he was looking at you.
Oh yeah. A lot of what we do is aligns well with what Evansville does. And just even at my size, the ability to shoot the three ball is such a highly valued skill. And so, I loved where I was. I loved where I am, or I love where I am, and really blessed.
I want to talk about, like, you had always dreamt to play Division I basketball. You go to Huntington Prep. Your high school is on the smaller side, but you're an all-state guy there at Tipton. You go to an NAIA school, end up then you make it to Evansville. So, thank God I've dreamed my dream. I'm living the dream. Wait, I'm really good, and a higher level school wants me to come there as well. Talk about, I don't know, the dreams coming true, just the unfolding of this story.
Yeah. When you say dreams coming true, I don't even know as a high schooler if this is something I even really dreamt about. I just always dreamed of playing college basketball, and just where my recruitment was. Huntington was exactly where I dreamed to be, and it was great. And then I move on. I got to give God all the glory for where I am today. He's moved in incredible ways that I never could have imagined. He's done a big work on my heart. He's done a big work on my body, and this is just, it's unbelievable for where I would have ever believed as a high school kid.
And like I said, I'm over the bitterness, but why not stay at Evansville? What went into that decision process?
Yeah, a lot of leaving Evansville. My mind was set on just preparing for the NBA. I think that's now that I've done really big things, I don't ever want to count God out with what he can do. And I had gotten some feedback just from the NBA people, and a lot of what I got is we want to see how you can play, and I guess for now at the Big Ten level, what that looks like, playing against some. I played some really great players in the MVC, and that was an incredible league. But just some really highly talented guards. How can we score, guard, do all those things against really like the highest level that college basketball can offer? And so a lot of it was just feedback on that. Just looking to the NBA, and now when I get to Illinois, I'm going to play in a really, really tough league that I think the MVC has set me up to prepare for. And I'm going to be playing along high level NBA professional basketball players, but also be playing against those people and seeing where I match up.
I just watched a podcast where they ranked you the 32nd best player in the Big Ten already. You haven't even played a game. Obviously, some people that are watching that league think highly of you. I want to ask you about Coach Underwood in a minute, but what makes Dave Ragland tick? Like, what makes him the outstanding coach that I believe he is?
Yeah, the big part is Coach Ragland cares about you as a person and cares about your souls. And I think that the confidence that he instilled in me early on about this is bigger than basketball is, I think, one of the pieces that helps his players thrive. He's a master at the X and O's. He's got a great group of people around him that assist him in all those things. But I think there was that connection and that community of people that I was around that Coach Ragland facilitated that made that grow so fast.
And what drew you to Illinois versus any place else? Coach Underwood, talk about what Illinois offered you in terms of why that seemed like a good fit, and then talk about Coach Underwood.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned the NBA dreams, just and with my mind shifting that way. When I look at their offensive and defensive systems, we align with how the NBA works. We're going to spread the floor. We're going to have highly talented guards, wings, bigs that like just their systems, their approaches, their X's and O's really line up with a lot of what the NBA is pushing towards. I got on campus, saw the facilities. I got to meet the people that I'd be around, get to know them, and once I left on my visit, I just knew it was a place that I needed to be, and it was everything I wanted.
When I watch a game very close to the Missouri Valley, of course, and watch Coach Ragland, but when I watch a game on television with Coach Underwood, their personalities, at least on the sideline, aren't anything the same.
Yeah, maybe a little different. The thing that I think I'm starting to learn about Coach Underwood is on the sideline, it looks like he's a fiery dude, and he's intense, and that's the way you want to play. He wants his guys to be intense. He wants us to be locked in. He wants us to be communicating. But at the end of the day, I'm a firm believer that he's a loud dude. He doesn't say anything that's not either not true or not, or like he doesn't say crazy stuff. It's just he's a guy that wants the best out of his players, and that's how he communicates. And so I'm a firm believer of like listen to what he says, not how he says it. And so yeah, no, I love Coach Underwood, and so far we've had a great experience so far together.
Really enjoyed watching you play last year in the Valley, and we did an interview like this last season. But what made me want to dive into this a little bit more, even though you moved on, is an apparel line you're starting. And in this day of NIL, players need to do things or can have the option to do things that will further their career or finances. I think this is more than just that for you. Talk about the clothing line that you're getting ready to launch.
Yeah. So the brand is called Prove God Right. It's a very, very bold name, I believe. If you check that out on Instagram, and I posted on my personal page on Twitter, there's a story that kind of explains the reason behind Prove God Right. God's done a big work in my life, and it was something that Coach Ragland and I kind of had said together, and it spread a little bit to some people around me. And the idea is basically win or like whether I win, succeed, or fail, I want to align my steps in my day with what God has for me in that day. And ultimately, like if I win and I do what I believe God wants me to do, I'm proving God right. But even when I fail, it's in his will that's what happens. And if I'm doing the right thing, that's proving God right. And so that's kind of the main story. My father had mentioned to me late in the summer, like like you have this platform now. Like I'm on such a stage. And he was like, what if we work with this? And for me, God has done so much in my life. I believe I'm almost doing a disservice to not further his kingdom with what I have on my day today. And so this is something I'm super excited about. The first drop, I don't know exactly when it's going to happen yet. So stay tuned for that. Today they're finishing up some t-shirts, which I'm excited about. Going to have some bracelets, but the whole idea behind the apparel is that it's gonna be the cheaper of the lines in terms of price. It's gonna be a good t-shirt, but I want it to be able to where every person's able to purchase a t-shirt. And it's never about me making a profit with this, but being able to facilitate a mission and a dream that eventually is gonna start as an apparel, but I want to do stuff further down the line to further God's kingdom. And so it's just starting.
So the things haven't dropped yet. How are we going to be able to pay attention? Will there be a website? How will we follow up with all this? Because I need to buy shirts, man.
Absolutely. The main Prove God Right t-shirt you can follow on Instagram. It's at Prove God Right. If you go to my Instagram bio, Ben Humrichous, I have it tagged up in my bio. There will be information on there about when the store will drop. If fingers crossed, if I end up with the t-shirts finishing today or tomorrow, then I would love to have them out this weekend and love starting that process. I I actually just shipped out 100 bracelets to a gentleman that I had met who's a coach in Ohio, member of an FCA, and he wanted to buy them to give them out to his kids. And so I'm kind of getting the shipping process down, have that ready, but I just need to get all my stuff together. So
Super excited about that. You mentioned a price point, something that was inexpensive. There's some schools that, because I'm in the report and announce for Missouri Valley and Ohio Valley kinds of programs, there's a couple of them that have collectives, and I saw the T-shirts, and I'm like, they're like $50. It's like, dude,
yeah,
you're not LeBron. So it was surprising to me how high they were. So I do think the price point really matters for a number of reasons, right? Affordable, but you're trying to say something to people that isn't all about the dollar signs.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And I think there's going to come a time where um, basically the idea of the profit is that further down the road, I want to be able to host a basketball camp where I can reach communities under the name of Proof God Right and be able to share my testimony to a bunch of kids, using my platform to do that, to partner alongside maybe an FCA and be able to have an event where we're just bringing kids together under one name. And so all of the proceeds of what I would make, whether it's a few dollars here and there, is to go towards that greater mission. And so that's why I'm keeping the prices on the lower end for the purpose that everybody can buy one, but everybody needs to understand that everything that comes to me is going straight back into that mission. So
I love it. I got a gym here. You might have to do that here in St. Louis with us.
absolutely, absolutely,
That would be tons of fun. We'll stay on top of that. We'll stay in touch with your Instagram posts and however it plays out that way, we'll be telling people about it. On the basketball side, Coach Underwood put together this cupcake of a schedule: Ole Miss, Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee, Missouri, and Duke. You guys are marching into the Lions' Den all season long.
absolutely. That's what you come to Illinois to play. It's a tough schedule. We're all really excited about it. Some really great environments, great atmospheres, great basketball. I'm excited for it. Something that, I mean, we talked about. I didn't really dream for it, but now being on this stage, that's exactly what you want.
I mean, it is exciting, right? I mean, you played some outstanding competition at Evansville, but to play Duke and to play in the border war game with Missouri down here in St. Louis, and to play those other, most of these schools, well, all of them except Duke, are SEC schools, which is a terrific conference with great venues. And of course, your home court is an amazing one as well. There might be moments this year where you're kind of pinching yourself like, uh-oh, look where I'm at.
Absolutely. And even talking to some of my buddies, like just playing at MSG, Madison Square Garden, like that's one of that's, if not the greatest basketball environment traditionally. And so now, like, it's just places that you just look back and you say, thank you, God, for putting me here. It's incredible.
Prove God right. Give us a minute just on your own life. You said, I want to be able to share my own story. And your video I saw it on Twitter. It's probably on Instagram as well, but I saw it on, I guess it's X. So sorry.
Yeah, I said that too. My fault.
Sorry, Elon. Anyway, tell us a little bit about your story.
Yeah. So the story behind Prove God Right is when I left Huntington, I left with the dream of playing Division I basketball, and there were a few coaches that my trainer was in contact with in the portal, and he's not good enough to play Division I basketball. That's fine. That's their idea. Well, along the road, I end up playing a few of them, and end of the story. I mean, I'm never going to mention those people, but I won them all. I won all those games, and I got asked by a reporter, because the word kind of got out a little bit. How would it feel like to have the chip on your shoulder? You just want to prove all these people wrong, and there was something that God did in my heart that day, and it was like, I mean, I serve a really big God, and I'm a feeble man, and so none of this was ever about proving people wrong, but proving God right. And that was kind of like the tagline that came out of it. And I even think that the story moves to, like, everybody has their Proof God Right story about how God is working in their life and how they overcame the odds, and with God's help did great things. And so right now it's my story, but one day I want to move away and help people understand this is the story of God's kingdom and His people. And so yeah, God's doing great things.
Super excited for you. I've become an Illini fan just because you're there. I'm in St. Louis. I'm not supposed to like them, but now I'm an Illini fan because of you. Appreciate your time today. Wish you all the best. And we're going to be telling people all about your apparel line as well, buying stuff ourselves. We're going to be a part of the movement.
Awesome. Thank you. I really, really appreciate it.
That's Ben Humrichous. He is wearing number 3 at Illinois for the Fighting Illini, and he's going to have a spectacular year there at the Big Ten. Prove God right. Follow him on Instagram, Twitter, and get a hold of the apparel that's going to be coming out soon. Ben, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
You've been watching the Valley Hoops Insider podcast, part of the Valley Hoops Insider website. Thanks for joining us today. Remember, since you've been there, make it a better place. We'll see you again real soon.